Hello, it is Jack Gill, and welcome back to Anfield Agenda. It is transfer deadline day, and it's turning out to be an absolute manic one from a Liverpool perspective. All window, we've talked about signing a centre back. We've begged the club to go in and sign a centre back. We've had injuries to Fabinho and Matip, of course, in the past week, and it's really forced FSG's hand into the transfer market. I'm going to start from the start. Yesterday, during the 3-1 win against West Ham, Liverpool get linked with Ben Davies, and then all of a sudden there's numerous journalists saying that this deal is very, very close. Ben Davies, of course, from Preston, left-sided centre-half, 25 years old. He was expected to join Celtic on a pre-contract agreement. His contract at Preston was due to finish in the summer, but it looks like Liverpool are going to sign him for £2 million with Sepp van den Berg going out on loan the other way. Preston will get first refusal if Liverpool decide to sell Sepp van den Berg then in the summer. This is a really, really interesting deal. A few weeks ago, Neil Jones from The Goal interviewed Reece Williams, who said that he looked up to Ben Davies from Preston. He must have known something that we didn't at that point. This is the quote from Reece Williams. He says, "He's been everywhere on loan: York, Fleetwood, Southport, Newport, Tranmere. Now he's probably Preston's best and most consistent player. It shows me that there's a path through non-league, especially for defenders, where you have to go and learn the basics of the game. The bit on the ball that can always come, you can always learn them later, but the basics, you have to learn them and you have to have them. I look up to someone like Ben because he's had the same path as me, and now he's doing really well in the Championship." So yeah, it looks like they may be playing together in the next few weeks and months. But yeah, it's a really exciting deal. A lot of Preston fans are really, really happy to see Ben Davies doing well. And now at Liverpool, they've said that, they've been very surprised in the last couple of years that no one's come for him already. So, I think this may be one that goes under the radar a bit. £2 million. It could be a decent signing, and Sepp van den Berg going the other way. I think he is desperate for a loan move to the Championship. Since moving to England, he's had some issues, and there's some parts of his game that he really needs to work on. So I think this is a good deal for both parties. Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, let me know what you think about that deal while I recap everyone else. Now it looks like we're going to sign Kabak. That is the name, Ozan Kabak from Schalke. That's the one that's being touted by everyone. But last night it broke that Liverpool were interested in Marseille's CALETA-CAR. This is one where, it seemed like we bid 23 million euros for him. He was interested in moving to Liverpool. He was ready to fly to Manchester last night. However, Marseille couldn't sign anyone to replace him, and therefore it looks like the deal has broken down. However, people aren't ruling it out. He seems to be Liverpool's number one target to be bought in today, and I assume if Marseille can bring in a replacement, that is exactly what Liverpool will do. However, the reason people think Ozan Kabak is extremely likely is Schalke have identified a target to replace him. They will sign Mustafi from Arsenal. So basically, Mustafi holds the keys to our transfer deadline day. I'm just having a look here at the comments. Healer says Ben Davies is left-footed and rated at £10 million originally. Yep, he's a left-footed, left-sided centre-back. I posted on my Twitter page yesterday some little highlights from him. I think it's a two-minute video that Celtic fans made when they were linked with him. So if you want to go and check that out, I recommend that. But yeah, there's absolutely loads of centre backs that Liverpool have been linked with today, and it seems like if you're a centre back and you play in Europe, Liverpool are interested in you right now. So to go to Kabak, the rumours are a £2.5 million loan fee, a £20 million fee in the summer. It's unknown at the moment whether it's an obligation to buy or whether it's optional. It's not known as yet. He's been pictured at Schalke's medical centre earlier today, possibly to do a medical, possibly to do a COVID test. We're not quite sure on that yet. And as I mentioned before, the key to this is that Schalke are interested in Mustafi to sign him as the replacement. Now, the interesting thing with Schalke and Kabak is both haven't been doing too well this season. Schalke obviously in a poor position in the Bundesliga, and some people aren't too happy with the possibility of him being bought in. I've seen stuff linking him to Dejan Lovren and saying that they're similar in terms of styles. He seems quite well rounded to me. In my opinion, I prefer CALETA-CAR. But I don't think Liverpool can be picky right now. And for me, at least, it's not someone like Mustafi. I think we're desperate. We need to bring players in. But, I think it's worth the bit of a risk at the moment. And, the options we have so far are, Nat Phillips, who I think has his vulnerabilities. We've seen yesterday he's good, but as I said yesterday in my match reaction, that game suits him. When he's up against a faster striker, that's where we'll start to see him struggle. And we saw against Manchester United in the Cup that Reece Williams isn't ready. Also, the best centre back pairing we therefore have is Fabinho and Henderson at this point in time, and we don't want to lose them from our midfield. So it's an interesting one. Fabrizio Romano seems to say that Kabak is close, and that seems to be the most likely one that we will sign this transfer window. However, I've not finished there. There are more names. Keep your comments coming in, by the way. I will go through them at the end, but there are more names that Liverpool have been linked with today. The first one that I am very disappointed that this isn't happening, Edmund Tapsoba, 21 years old, Bayer Leverkusen, from Burkina Faso. People link him to Jerome Boateng in terms of his style of play. He's a good passer of the ball. He's strong. He's a really, really exciting young centre-half. Liverpool have reportedly inquired about him as well, but Bayer Leverkusen wanted 50 million euros, and Liverpool have therefore pulled out and said that is too much for now. But yeah, I'm disappointed about this one because I think he's a really good young centre-half and would have been the perfect signing for Liverpool. Would have really put Joe Gomez under pressure as well when he's back from injury, when he returns, and would have given us a good option to rest Van Dijk when he's back. Don't forget, when Van Dijk comes back, he's done his ACL. He's not going to be able to play week in, week out, game after game after game. He's going to have to be managed well. His fitness is going to have to be managed well. So we're going to need numerous very good centre halves to rotate between. Joe Gomez as well, coming back from a long-term serious injury, so he's going to have to be protected too. So I think bringing in these good centre halves and two centre halves today are very, very important. Also, we don't know what this Joel Matip injury is or how long he's out for yet. Another one that Liverpool have been linked with, Torino's Gleeson Bremer. There's been no offer yet. Liverpool have just inquired, apparently. Another very good young centre-half would be a really, really good signing. And also, Braga's David Carmo, 21 years old. Manchester United have been interested in this lad in the past. Liverpool are also interested and have contacted Braga for this man today, and that is according to Fabrizio Romano. So as I said before, it seems like if you're a European centre half, or if you're a centre half playing in Europe, Liverpool are interested in you right now. Liverpool clearly want to sign two centre backs before the end of the window. We've left it late, but it seems like on deadline day we are ready to get these two centre halves in. Let's have a look at the comments. People are talking about Kabak. People very much want Kabak. People also referring to Mustafi joining Schalke. RSH14 says Mustafi will make sure Schalke will get relegated. An interesting one. He might do well over there. They clearly seem interested. A 2.5 million loan fee for Kabak, of course, and I've heard that they're getting Mustafi on the cheap. Arsenal seem desperate to get rid of Mustafi, and therefore I think it may be a good move for Schalke. They've obviously just signed Sead Kolasinac too, who has become their captain. So yeah, their link up might also keep Schalke up. You don't know. Drew Branch says, "Come on, Liverpool scouts around the globe." Absolutely, I think nobody has doubted that Liverpool have wanted a centre back this window. It's just been about timing, and with the options we've had, was it a must? I think with Fabinho and Matip getting injured, it became a must, and now Liverpool have had to accelerate with their with the need to sign a centre back, and we've gone all out, and we're looking to sign two on deadline day, which I think is brilliant. Fabrizio Romano has also just done an interview with Sky where he says that we're still interested in signing Deo Upamecano in the summer too. So it's really, really interesting. Loads and loads of centre backs being linked with Liverpool right now. Sepp van den Berg going the other way. As I said, that key thing with Preston, and he's going there on loan, and Preston will have first refusal on him in the summer if Liverpool choose to sell. So yeah, it may be that we're signing all these centre backs, but we're losing one as well, Nat Phillips as well. I assume he may leave at the end of the season too, if with all these centre backs coming in, and with Gomez and Virgil van Dijk coming back to full fitness as well. Ben Davies can play left back as well, Jack. Class option, absolutely. I wasn't aware of that, but if he can, it's another brilliant option. It makes you think though about Kostas Tsimikas, who he signed in the summer, of course, and has yet to make his Premier League debut. I saw some things yesterday saying he's not really happy with the game time he's had at the minute. But yeah, I do feel quite sorry for him at the moment. Minamino too, who I don't think is getting enough game time at the moment. Unknown J13 says, apparently we have an option to buy Kabak in the summer. We absolutely do, according to all the reports I have seen. We will have either an option or obligation to sign Kabak in the summer should his loan move go well, which I think is good news. 20 million euros, I believe, is what we are going to get him for. Jay Dooch with an interesting one. He says, we were told no money in January, so we waited till February the 1st. Absolutely, and we've gone all guns blazing on February the 1st too. As I say, absolutely loads of news that we've been linked with, and it seems to be swift. It seems to be happening quickly as well. As I said, it was quite quiet until the West Ham game yesterday. We get that news of Ben Davies, and then overnight, of course, we had CALETA-CAR. We've had Tapsoba this morning, Kabak this morning. Loads and loads of names. It's Jamie YT. He's not happy with all the centre back talk we've got today. He wants to know about Kylian Mbappe. Do you think we will get Mbappe? I'm just saying, wait till the summer. We don't know what's going to happen. I think it is dependent on possibly whether Mohamed Salah is going out the door. I don't think we can afford to bring in someone like Mbappe unless something like that happens. People saying that Ben Davies is official. I've not seen that quite yet. I know he is doing his medical right now. James Pearce has said that he's doing his medical right now. So I don't think it'll be long before he gets announced and confirmed. But that one does look very, very likely, and like it is, imminent and will happen soon. We're just waiting on who that second player will be, whether it will be CALETA-CAR, whether it will be Kabak. We don't know yet. It's looking likely that it will be Kabak though. Awaza says, when will Kabak be announced, do you think? I have no idea, mate. It's one of those things where it'll go right down to the wire, and I think all afternoon we'll be talking about this getting closer, or whether Marseille have highlighted someone who can replace CALETA-CAR, and therefore whether he is more likely to happen. The Athletic have compared Ben Davies' defensive style to Ragnar Klavan's. I'll take that. Yeah, I think a lot of people, miss Klavan and the cult hero that he was. But I think it's one of them. From what I've seen of Ben Davies, he's assured, he's doing well in the Championship, a good centre back. I'm surprised Preston were willing to let his contract run down, but he clearly wanted to go to bigger and better things. As I said, he was being linked with Celtic. It looked very, very likely that this man was going to go to Celtic, but now, massive U-turn, he's joining Liverpool. There's a lot of people saying that it's been confirmed. A lot of people also saying no announcement as yet, but I do agree that it won't be long before Ben Davies is absolutely confirmed. How long is Kabak's loan deal is being asked by Faiz Bilal. Well, it's till the end of the season with 2.5 million loan fee, and then at the end of the season we'll have that option to buy. So it's a very, very interesting deal. It'll be interesting to see how he fits in as well. Also, I've seen lots of things, whether they'll be thrown straight in for the City game, whether we'll see them start, or whether we'll take time with them to bed them in, and we'll still be very likely to see a Fabinho and Henderson partnership against City, which I agree with. I think that's probably the case. It'll take time for these lot to be put in the first 11, and for now we will see the continued partnership with Henderson and Fabinho at the back, or Henderson and Nat Phillips in Fabinho's absence. Where is Van Dijk not playing is a question. Well, I don't know if you've been hidden under a rock, Hassan, but obviously he's out injured, and I doubt he will play until next season. There's stuff here about Gini's contract and us being linked with Renato Sanchez. I've heard different things about Basuma coming in as well, but I think it all depends on Gini. I think the ball's in his court on what happens next for Gini Wijnaldum. I think as far as Liverpool are concerned, we've put the contract on the table. It's now up to Gini whether he's going to sign it or whether he's going to move on to probably Barcelona. But I think Bissouma and Renato Sanchez are the likely midfielders that we'll bring in to replace him should he go. Dara McGee says, is it an obligation to buy or option to buy? We're not sure as yet, Dara. It could be either. I'm hoping it's option because I'm hoping that we get to see this guy in the Premier League for Liverpool first before we decide whether or not we are going to buy him, rather than being forced into paying 20 million for this guy when we don't know how he's going to settle into the Premier League. So yeah, I'm hoping it's an option, but we're not sure as yet. Lots of people talking about Van Dijk and when he'll be back. Some people saying April the 1st. As far as I'm concerned, there is no time scale on that Van Dijk injury. He could be back before the end of the season, but I'm expecting that he won't be back before the end of the season. And if he is back, then it's a bonus. People screaming, will Liverpool sign Kylian Mbappe? We're not sure. We're focusing on today and the centre-backs. Paul Joyce has just tweeted, it is an option to buy, not obligation. So I think that is absolutely perfect. You know, for this deal to be a loan move with an option to buy means that we're not forced into anything. We don't have to be forced into paying £20 million for Kabak if he doesn't settle into Liverpool and if it doesn't work. So that is fantastic news. People asking if we're signing both of them. Yes, it certainly looks that way to me. As I said before, I think Ben Davies is imminent. I don't think it'll be long before that happens. I think, as far as I believe, he is doing his medical right now. That's what James Pearce has said anyway. And I believe that we'll bring in either Kabak or CALETA-CAR or whichever other name Liverpool have linked with today as well on top of that signing. So yeah, carry on letting me know what you think in the comments about the option to buy on that Kabak deal. I think it's perfect. Dara McGee agrees with me. But yeah, carry on letting me know what you think. Drew Branch agrees with me too. He says, do not rush Van Dijk. I absolutely agree. You know, his fitness is going to have to be managed when he comes back. We don't want him to be out for a long period again. We want to make sure that when he's back, he's managed well in his early days there and ready to full fitness when we can see this man hopefully return to the man he was before he got the ACL injury. People asking if Kabak is good. As far as I've seen of Kabak, he's a decent player. You know, he's a physical player. He loves a tackle. He doesn't shy away from a tackle. He's good on the ball as well. People comparing him to Lovren. I don't really see that personally. As I said at the top of this show, I'd have preferred CALETA-CAR, just me personally. But I don't think Kabak is a bad option to have. And as I say, I think the deal is perfect. He's coming in on a loan. It's a cheap loan. We're paying £1 or £2 million up front. And then we have an option to buy in the summer. We don't have to do that, but Paul Joyce says it's an option to buy, and therefore we're not forced into anything. So I think it's the perfect signing for now. Josh Crouch says Kabak is a great signing. He's got speed, physicality. The downside is his aerial threat isn't great, but you know, these things happen. And yeah, I completely agree. You know, he's not the biggest of centre halves. He's not the best in the air, but I suppose if we want a great aerial threat, we've got that in Nat Phillips. You know, we know that he is good in the air. So in games where we need that aerial threat, we've got Nat Phillips for that. Eddie Hutchinson saying, thought Issa Diop was a target for a loan with option to buy for 20 million. Eddie, he is one of many, many names we've had over the last few days. And Mustafi himself was named too. And it wouldn't surprise me if Michael Edwards went to Schalke with Mustafi's phone number and went, come on, give us Kabak, here's a replacement for you. So there we go. There's stuff about Kabak when he spat on someone. Yes, he got a 5-game ban. There is that side where, you know, he had that in his locker, and I think that is going to have to be managed. However, you know, these things happen and players make mistakes, and hopefully nothing like this will happen to Kabak in the Premier League. Owen Barlow says Premier League is a big step up from the Bundesliga. Absolutely, Owen, and that's why I think this deal is perfect, because, you know, we get him on a loan move. It's a cheap deal for now, £1 to £2 million. We're signing him. And then we have that option to buy at the end of the season. We don't have to buy him. It's just an option. So that's why I think it's a very, very good signing. It is a bit of a risk, but we needed to bring centre-backs in. We have left it late, and therefore we're having to deal with what we've got right now. Kate 2.0 says, our corners have been poor lately, even with Nat Phillips, though. Just don't expect to score from them lately. We do lack height at the minute. That's something we've lost with Van Dijk's injury, and even Fabinho going backwards to centre back. We are missing height, and from corners we seem to be struggling to beat the first man. It is something that we need to work on at the moment. People talking about when Jota will be fit. We don't know that right now. People said the end of January. It seems to have been pushed back. It will now probably be February. I think Liverpool will be rushing to get him back for that Man City game. Did you see David Carmo coming in summer and Matip will be sold in the summer? No, I've not seen that. I think that's just a rumour for now. Lucas Williams also pointed out that Matip himself came from Schalke too. So it's not the first time we've gone to Schalke for a centre-half. Continue letting your comments come in. It looks like Liverpool are going to sign not one, but two centre-backs before the end of the deadline at 11 p.m. tonight. Will it be Kabak? Will it be CALETA-CAR? Or will it be someone else that joins Ben Davies in signing for Liverpool before the end of the deadline? Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you very soon. Ta-ra.